Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to bring you an update on Ethereum. With Ethereum struggling to maintain $1,600, there's a lot to talk about, some important on-chain metrics. In this video, I'm going to run through some tactical analysis, talk about what I see happening both short-term and long-term. So if you like the sound of that, please like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. There's a lot to talk about here, folks. Okay, Ethereum is kind of looking bearish right now, in my opinion. We've fallen below critical support, the 200 EMA on the 4-hour. We've made a lower high, getting rejected off previous support levels. This green line here, based off these peaks here and here, where was previous support, now acting as resistance. So is Ethereum due for another leg down? Perhaps. Let's start to take a look at both on chart and off chart indicators, trying to get a sense of what's going on. I've recently noted that there has been a spike of Ethereum moving on to exchanges, and this can potentially be very bearish because the more Ethereum on exchanges, the more potential selling pressure. So we have we can see here there is a pretty substantial spike in Ethereum on going on to exchanges. So are we due for another downfall? Potentially, especially with breaking down from critical support. I would not be the least bit surprised if Ethereum had a bit of a leg down, but it's not all doom and gloom. And we're gonna keep running through some stuff here, so don't you go fumbling and fudding away. Another interesting thing I wanted to bring up here, which is the number of new Ethereum addresses. While we may experience further correcting in the short term, I do not think we're anywhere near a cycle top with Ethereum. This is a chart of new addresses back in 2018. We can see that near the top we had a massive spike in new addresses. So in trying to gauge a top for Ethereum this cycle, I would wager that this time around we're likely to experience a similar spike of new addresses, of new retail, of new normies forming FOMOing into the market near the top. And so every previous bull run, the top coins have reached their all-time highs and vastly surpassed it. Ethereum is barely above its all-time high, so I really do not think this is any kind of top, any kind of cycle top for Ethereum, although, again, we may experience further correcting in the short term. Another good chart that's important to look at and try to gauge local or cycle tops for Ethereum is the net unrealized profit and loss chart. Anytime we enter the blue euphoria zone, that basically means too many people are making too much money too fast in an unsustainable way, and it historically has been correlated with a cycle or local top. So we have not reached the blue euphoria zone, and the fact that we're correcting and may even correct further is a good thing, because what that means is that the overall macro bull trend will be more sustainable. Pullbacks are healthy and to be expected in a bull market. I still do believe we are in a bull market. And another helpful chart to try and gauge local tops and bottoms of market is this chart here. Okay, the realized HODL ratio for Bitcoin. Historically speaking, this has been very good at calling local tops and bottoms of markets. And historically speaking, Ethereum has reached its peak roughly a month after Bitcoin. So I think something similar could happen in the future. And given that different top and bottom charts seem to indicate that we're nowhere near a top, and that Bitcoin has a lot of more room to catch up before to run up before I'd be concerned of a top. I'm therefore not worried that Ethereum has reached a cycle top, because again, last time around Ethereum reached its peak roughly a month after Bitcoin, and so did the altcoin. So I think something similar could happen this time around as well. Now let's look back here on the chart of Ethereum and take a look at our indicators to try and get a sense of what our indicators are saying. Do we see any signs of hidden strength? Well, let's take a look here at the daily. Daily looks very bearish. Bearish crossover on the daily MACD on the way down. Everything's on the way down. The only possible slightly bullish thing is the stochastic RSI starting to curve up. Might want to have a bullish crossover on the daily here. For those who don't know, the stochastic RSI is great for understanding shifts in trends. It typically moves from one extreme to the other, and whenever it's in one extreme and has a crossover, it typically signals that we might have a shift in the trend here. So let's take a look at the 12. Ooh, look at this, folks. So 12-hour, we're starting to see some strength. The histogram's taking up on the MACD. The weighted MACD bullish crossover. Stochastic RSI on the way up, although bearish crossover doesn't really want to go up. Regular RSI, oversold region going for a leg up, although downtrending for the moment. So not super strong, but we are seeing some strength starting to form. 6 hour, it looks like the MACD may want to have a bullish crossover at some point. Although weighted MACD seems to want to have a bearish crossover. Stochastic RSI on the way up. Regular RSI, yeah, it's still kind of just chilling, not really picking a direction. We were in the oversold region, now kind of having a little bit of a leg up. So some strength, although it's not very convincing, it's not very strong. Yeah, MACD on the 4 hour ticking down. Yeah, weighted MACD on the way down. Stochastic RSI on the way down. So yeah, it seems like we may even have a leg down in the short term. Ooh, yeah, 2 hour bearish. Let's take a look at the one. Yeah, 1 hour is bearish as well. And then let's just finish off by looking at the half hour, trying to get a gauge of what's going on super short term. And even the half hour has room to go down some more. So, kind of summarize what we're seeing here. Larger time frames look bearish. We're starting to see some signs of some strength on the mid-hourlies, although it's not very convincing. And when we look to lower hourlies, further signs of bearishness. We have fallen below critical support. So, I do think Ethereum has a very good chance of retesting $1,500-ish. But this could potentially be a good thing, especially if we make a higher low. That could be a good thing. Retest some support lines here, solidify them as support. Some kind of leg down for Ethereum, I do think makes some kind of sense, to be honest. And as well, we do experience some kind of spike from 1550 to 1530. Again, we could find support there. As well, I think finding support on this green line here, this green support line was drawn based off these two wicks here. Okay, I think that makes sense that we could find support there as well. Now, if we look back to the 12 hour, we have the 100 EMA on the 12 hour right below $1,500, strong support level. We seem to have found support there previously, so I think it's going to act as support moving forward. As well, the 8 hour, 200 EMA is right at, you know, I'd say 1780-ish, 1775. So if this 1500 level cannot hold as support, I think we're going to retest the 200 EMA on the 8 hour, which is again is at 1380, 1375, around that range. Until we start to fall below these levels, I'm not too worried about Ethereum entering some kind of local top. Although the fact that we have fallen below critical support levels like the 100 EMA on the 6 hour is very concerning, very bearish. And again, the 200 EMA on the 6 hour is right at 1500. So we seem to have a lot of clusters of support around $1,500. If that doesn't hold, I think kind of 1350-ish, 1350 to 1380 is our next line of support. And while experiencing a further downtrend in Ethereum, if you're hodling Ethereum, might suck, I would consider it a blessing, to be honest. It's an opportunity to accumulate Ethereum. I think nothing has changed to make this market fundamentally any less bullish over the long term. There's so many reasons to like Ethereum over the long term. Ethereum 2.0 is being rolled out. Now that staking is introduced to Ethereum, a bunch of liquidity is being locked up for extended periods of time. EIP 1559 is being introduced, I believe, this summer, which aims to make Ethereum deflationary by burning Ethereum. So there's so many bullish things happening with Ethereum over this next year. And looking at some on-chain metrics, I don't think we're anywhere near some kind of cycle top. So to be honest, I'm not the least bit worried, but you do you. If you want to take profits and are a stable coin, that's your decision. I'm a long-term hodler. I personally consider this correction a blessing because it's a chance to dollar cost average, buy a good asset that's likely to explode over the long term at a cheaper discounted price. And yeah, so those are my thoughts with Ethereum, to be honest, for the moment. Folks, if anything interesting further happens, we will definitely be talking about it on our Discord group. Link for that will be down in the description below. And before I let you guys go, one level I think we all need to look out for in order to understand if and when Ethereum can start making higher highs and start start recovering here. I think it's $1,700. When we tried to pump up and recover from this downtrend, we got rejected off $1,700. A large spike in volume in these regions. A lot of EMAs clustering at around $1,700. So I think if and when Ethereum can start getting above and holding $1,700, I think that's when the market starts to recover. So yeah, those are my thoughts, folks. If you like what we do on the channel and you want to support us, consider joining our Patreon. Link for that down in the description below. You get access to our VIP Discord group where we look at low cap gems, interesting setups, catalysts, that kind of thing. As well, we will also be giving away a hardware wallet randomly to one of the first 100 Patreon members who join. So consider joining our Patreon. And actually, as well, before I forget, another reason, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this. I know a few of you have probably left, but for those of you who have stayed, this is a very important chart to look at, and another reason why I'm really not worried that this is any kind of top for Bitcoin or Ethereum, which is the Bitcoin cycle. So shout out to Trading Shot. Trading Shot did a very good job of breaking down the Bitcoin cycles. So the whole reason why crypto moves in these pump and dump cycles, it's all because of Bitcoin and the halvings. Every 4-ish years, the production of Bitcoin gets cut in half. And so for miners to mine profitably, the price pretty much has to go up. So that's why it's close to guaranteed that over the long term, Bitcoin in the market as a whole will increase in value, because it kind of has to, because of the Bitcoin halvings. So we recently had a halving. When was this? Yeah, kind of like mid-May. Okay, and historically speaking, 51% of the bull market is had before the halving. So from the bottom of the market to the halving is typically 51% of the bull market, and then from the halving to the cycle top is typically 49% of the bull market. So this has happened twice before, and given that this has happened historically twice, I think something similar has a very good chance of happening in the future this cycle. So given that we've had a Bitcoin halving kind of mid-May 2020, we are likely to experience some kind of top with Bitcoin late September 2021, specifically September 28th, 2021. So what does that mean? We have the better part of a year before this market is likely to reach some kind of top, if what has happened historically has any bearing on what's likely to happen in the future. And given that Ethereum, if we can quickly zoom out on a chart of Ethereum, reached its peak, because I keep saying it, but why don't I just show you? You know, we reached our peak with Ethereum, you know, 1 January, kind of mid-January. If we go to like the daily or the weekly, you'll probably see better how it was, yeah, kind of like 08 January, okay? And then if we look at chart of Bitcoin, when did Bitcoin reach its peak? It reached its peak, let's see here, like mid-December, early December. Different charts show different dates, but roughly a month after Bitcoin, Ethereum reached its peak. So again, I think something similar has a very good chance of happening this time around. And it makes sense psychologically as well. Once Bitcoin reaches its top and people take their profits, they want something else to put their money in where they could still make money. And that's why the altcoins pump and reach their peak after Bitcoin, and that's why the altcoins reach the vast majority of their parabolic growth near the end of the cycle. So selling right now, I mean, you do you. I'm not a financial advisor. These videos are not financial advice. It doesn't make any sense in my opinion, because the vast majority of the growth is going to be had near the end of the cycle. So again, another reason why I'm not worried about any further correcting that we might have in the short term. And look, worst case scenario, I think we could enter like an August 2.0, kind of scenario. So for those who weren't around in crypto back in August, we had a massive run up of the whole market. After that, everything crashed and dumped, and the sky was falling, and look, things consolidated for weeks, if not months, and look what happened afterwards. We exploded parabolically. So in fact, I hope something similar happens, where we crash and consolidate for weeks, if not months, because I understand that if something like that happens, that on the other side of that, the next impulse will be stronger and solidified. Pullbacks are to be expected and healthy in a bull market. So folks, I've rambled on quite long enough. Thank you for watching. Take care.